afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this important and festive event. I would like to start off with asking Lucia Laford to do the smudging. So whoever wants to be part of this, please come gather forward.
Bonjour, my name is Lucia Laford. Before we begin, we're going to talk about smudging. We're going to smudge a little bit, and then my friend Chantal from the IFC will be holding the smudge for anybody that, since we're such a big group, she'll be holding the smudge for anybody that would like to try smudging. But I thought I would just say a few words about smudging first. So we're starting this ceremony in a good way by smudging. I have my abalone shell, I have my sage, and when I light it, that smoke goes up to creation, it goes up to creator, and in that moment you have a chance to use your hands. I'm just going to show you with my hands right now. You just take your hands and you can bring that smoke to your face, you can bring it over your head, right? You can bring it to your mouth so you say good things, your head so you can have those good thoughts, you can bring it to your heart so you do things in a good way. And there's no wrong way to smudge, and you're welcome to and you don't have to as well. So it's totally up to you. But we're just going to start with that over there, okay? Miigwech.
Thank you, Lucia, for starting the smudging, the ceremony with the smudging. We appreciate that. Before we go anywhere further, I would like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Robinson-Huron Treaty territory and that the land on which we are gathered today is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, specifically the Garden River and Batchewana First Nations, as well as Métis and Cree peoples. The Art Gallery of Algoma is committed to upholding the values of truth and reconciliation and respectfully aligning with Indigenous communities. And we welcome you all today and on many other events in the future, and as some of you were in the past. So thank you for being here, and it is my great honor and pleasure to introduce and ask our mayor, Mr. Matthew Shoemaker, to say a few words before we unveil this beautiful mural.
Thank you, Jasmine. Ani bonjour. I'd like to first thank and acknowledge that we have with us MPP Romano, Chief Mark McCoy from Batchewana First Nation, Justice Heather Mendez from the Ontario Court of Justice, and Senator Bovey from recently retired from the Senate. So congratulations, Senator Bovey. Ani bonjour. I'm honored to be here for this mural unveiling and to mark National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, Orange Shirt Day. The city recognizes the ongoing trauma caused by residential schools and acknowledges that education is the foundation to understanding our role as Canadians, our role as municipal government, and our role in reconciliation with our neighbors. The mural we are here to celebrate today, which we'll unveil momentarily, is a tremendous example of what's possible when reconciliation and collaboration inform our actions. Through the efforts of those involved with the project, youth from the Indigenous Friendship Centre had the opportunity to paint the mural and learn about woodland style art, its meaning and its symbolism. While residential schools separated Indigenous children from their families in order to minimize and weaken family ties and cultural linkages, and to indoctrinate children into a new culture, initiatives such as this help make reconciliation a reality by preserving and promoting Indigenous culture. I'm committed, and I strongly believe our community is committed to mutually respectful relationships between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples. Reconciliation will take dedication, effort, and time, but recognition of the past and establishment of a mutually respectful relationship between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples is a necessary step. It is necessary for survivors and victims of the residential school system. It is necessary because of the racism and discrimination that still exists today. This will be one of many steps on our path to reconciliation, and I thank you for having me.
It is my great pleasure to welcome for the first time to the Art Gallery of Algoma Chief Mark McCoy. Thank you very much for being here today. And this is not going to be the last. So.
Anim Bojo, Ogama, the newly needed as Nikas Makwadorum. I'm the newly elected chief of Batchewana First Nation. My name is Mark McCoy. I'm Bear Clan. On behalf of Batchewana First Nation, it's my pleasure to welcome you all here today to this beautiful unveiling. The leadership of Batchewana First Nation are thrilled to participate in this important event because every child does matter. The important day commemorates the residential school experience and unites our Indigenous nations with our Canadian neighbors in a movement of reconciliation. And this mural represents that. You know, we can talk about it with working with our nation, the IFC, the City of Sault Ste. Marie, the Art Gallery. It puts things into action. Our leadership has always encouraged the meaningful discussions about the effects of residential schools and the legacy they left behind. Please take some time today to put down some tobacco and reflect on the important journey our ancestors have overcome to allow each of us to be here today. The day is one that fosters respect and mutual understanding to honor the legacy of the survivors and those that did not make it home. So again, on behalf of Batchewana First Nation, welcome to all the dignitaries and we wish for having me.
It is also my great pleasure to welcome our MPP Ross Romano, and I would like him to say a few words. And at this point, I would like to also acknowledge the provincial government that funded this project and made it possible. So please welcome MPP Ross Romano. And this is not his first time.
Thank you very much. Ani Bojo. That's a little bit of an echo there. Nishnaji Yayan. That means how's everyone doing today? Nishin, which means good, or Apaji Nishin, which means very good. Gachija Ajiga Wapnamba. It's my pleasure to be here again today. Minokushep, good afternoon. Ross Romano, Indigenous Bawatin Dojaba. My name is Ross Romano. I'm from these wonderful lands. I'm known as Bawatin. I'm known as Sault Ste. Marie. It's my pleasure to be here today, as I indicated. I'm joined by my children off to my left, who are very embarrassed for me recognizing one, and my one little wife here who is videoing our children right now in embarrassment for being named. I'm very pleased to be able to be here today, and I also want to recognize Mayor Shoemaker, Chief McCoy, congratulations, and Senator as well. Thank you very much for being here with us today. As I was driving into town on my way to this mural unveiling, I noticed something that was really special. I noticed a lot of people just outside walking down the street. One person was doing some yard work, and they were wearing orange shirts. This has grown in such an incredible way, where people simply attending events on September 30th are not the only ones who take the opportunity and take the time to put on an orange shirt. When we talk about truth and reconciliation, that is the start, isn't it? Truth. Before we can get to reconciliation, we need to understand our history. We need to understand what led us here. I look at all the children out here, and we are starting to recognize more. Young people are starting to understand more. All people are starting to understand more. The discoveries over the last several years are leading us on a path to reconciliation. And that is a good thing. It's a very good thing. It's important that we recognize our history, we recognize the atrocities that have occurred to our Indigenous people, and we learn and focus on ways to work together the way it was originally envisioned so long ago. And there are so many opportunities for us to do that on a go-forward basis. And I'm very proud to see our community joining together like this in this type of an initiative so that we can continue to teach all our young people more and everyone else, and so that we can move forward on a path to reconciliation in a meaningful way. So thank you for the opportunity, and enjoy the day, everyone. And the last thing I would say, if you haven't had the opportunity to hear a story from a residential school survivor, take that opportunity to learn a story, read about it, go visit places like Algoma University, Shinwalk Hall. Take an opportunity to learn more and tell that story to someone, because it's through those stories that we're truly going to learn and appreciate that history and how to ensure that we never, ever go back to a place like that again. Thank you.
I would like now to say just a few words about some recognition and acknowledgement. I would like, first of all, to express my great appreciation and gratitude to the Indigenous Friendship Centre. We have Chantal Day, who is our lead on the project. Chantal is not comfortable speaking today, but that's okay. We still want to recognize your effort and your help with the throughout the project. Also, I would like to acknowledge Christiana Bordage, who is here as a representative of the Ontario Culture Days, because this event is part of our presentation for the Ontario Culture Days Festival. And at this point, I think it is really appropriate to unveil the mural. So I would like to ask our Mayor, Shoemaker, and our Chief, McCoy, to please do the honor.
Margot, I need you to...
Thank you very much. We are so pleased to have this very first ever mural on the wall of this brick building. It is not just a beautiful piece of art, it has a lot more meaning, as we heard from every speaker today, and it will continue to send a message throughout our community and throughout the art world. So at this point, I would like to ask the lead artist who is working with the students, with the youth from the Indigenous Friendship Centre, to say a few words about the process and the creation of the mural. So please welcome Lucia Laford.
So we're going to open with a song, and then I'll talk a little bit about the process, what it was like to work with the amazing 17 youth that helped me on this project, and I'll tell you a little bit about the imagery and why this mural is so important to me and super representative of this area. Move it. everybody. That was the Rainbow Warrior song, or the Ancestor song. I'm very pleased and happy to share that song with you with my friends and family. Okay, so a little bit about this mural. So I took the youth through, there was about 17 youth, 20 youth that signed up. You know, it was the summertime, of course. Sometimes engagement can be hard throughout the summer, so I was wondering what to expect. However, I was blessed with a beautiful group of youth, anywhere from the ages of 12 to 20. And they stuck it out through the summer, you know, and I asked them to come 8 times in the summer to come hang out with me and learn about murals, to learn about woodland style art, to learn what it means to be an artist, to learn what it means to be a community engaged artist, right? So throughout the workshops, I taught them woodland style art. So I taught them, you know, the symbolism, the importance of this art to this area. And then we talked about, what do you buy for a mural? How much does a mural cost to make? You know, what does it take? What are the hours that it takes? And they helped me through every single step. So these youth, I really want to honor them, and I see some of them here today with me. So if we could just give them, if you want to stand up, youth, that would be awesome. Or wave, you know, bravely. And if we could just give them a round of applause. This work is just so important, and it's really why I do it as a woodland style artist and a muralist and a community engaged artist. And it's that group that I really want to engage and to let them know that they can be an artist. They can be in the arts community and art spaces, and they can let their voices be present, right? Especially Indigenous voices and youth demographics for minorities, right? Their voices can be heard, and when we see a mural like this, it's indigenizing this space, right? And that's really important to see ourselves reflected in the city. You know, sometimes you're walking down the street, and you know, even 10 years ago when I was living in Toronto, I didn't see a lot of myself reflected in the city, and that hurts, and I didn't realize how much it hurt back then. And that's when I began this journey to really bring this art form to the forefront in any way that I can. So then, the youth, okay, I made them scrub the wall, okay? There was lots of moss on the wall. They scrubbed it diligently, even in some cold weather. After they scrubbed it, they helped me prime it, right? They helped me through every single step. And they even helped me draw this on here. So we had chalk, we had pencil, we had markers. They bravely, you know, and it's hard. Can you imagine this wall, this big square being white, right? And then me saying, okay, get ready to draw our idea on the wall, right? It's a hard step to take. And I also really want to acknowledge that the imagery from this mural comes from these youth, right? We had a workshop all wholly about, well, what do you want to see? You know, what do you want to be the story that's going to be told when people are walking by? And they identified they wanted to talk about protecting the water and protecting the land, right? We also talked about mental health. You know, that's a huge issue for our youth, right? We talked about family well-being. We talked about the symbolism of what it means to be caretakers of our land and water, especially the St. Mary's River right there, right? So I'm going to explain some of the imagery for you now. I just want to say too, woodland style art, this whole mural, every single thing in here is a symbol for something. And there's a teaching in every single element that we put in, okay? So I won't explain necessarily everything because it's a very long story, but I'll explain the basics. So we have a water portion. Okay, so the mural is divided into 2 sections. There's kind of the sky part, right, that spirit world, and the land, right? There's the water, okay? So I'm gonna start over here first. I'll start up here. We have animals in the forest. So we have that bear that brings us different teachings, you know, plant teachings. We have the moose and the deer that remind us of that kindness, right? When we hunt, that we're doing it with love, right? We're respecting the animals that we eat, and we're not just wasting them, right? We have that owl as that messenger telling us, letting us know to protect the earth. We have the fox, we have the wolf, we have a garden right here. And these aren't just random flowers, these are flowers we talked about that are native to this area. We have bloodroot, we have goldenrod, we have asters, cornflowers, cattails, all medicines in their own right. And these roots, if you'll notice, there's all the roots are stretching from the sky portion down into the water, right? Reminding us of our roots into the water and into the earth over there. Right here, in the water portion, we have the pictographs. Anybody's been up north to the pictographs, the Egwa pictographs? There's Mijo, Mishbishu, who goes by many different names, right? Who's there with his helpers, the 2 serpents. It's really important to have these pictographs here. they remind us to take care of that water, right? Those are the original protectors of that water. And we have to remember our obligation to protect that water too. We have a beaver and a muskrat reminding us of our creation story. We come over here to this fish section. There's a whole bunch of different fish species. We talked about sturgeon, their obligations to clean the water. We talked about pike. We talked about pickerel, all these types of fish. And then we talked about the turtle and the teachings that are in that turtle. If you count on this turtle, there's 13 big plates and then there's 28 small plates. That's our calendar. That was our original calendar. There's 13 moons and then there's 28 days in each of those moons. So that's a teaching as well. Then we come to this portion. So I'd like to point out this is the turtle with the moon on its back. This is grandmother moon right here. And it's being reflected in the water by grandfather sun. So there's that balance between the two. And it's surrounded by the constellations. We all know the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper, but us as Anishinaabe, it's the loon and the martin or the fisher. So we have the loon as the Little Dipper, and we have the fisher or the martin as the Big Dipper. And those, are up there in the sky. And so remember, when you're looking up the sky, we have our constellations here, right? We have our original teachings for those as well. I'll go up here. Some of you may recognize this is a thunderbird. So this is a beautiful protector of our people. It protects all of us. And this is a great time to be talking about it too, because that thunderbird is going to go to rest soon, and it's going to rest when that blanket of snow envelops Mother Earth, and we all go for that rest, right? So thunderbirds are leaving to go rest, and this thunderbird is up high in the sky. It's in that spirit world, and it's touching grandfather sun as a tribute, as a reminder that we are protected, right? And that we also have that duty to protect things as well. Here we have people, figures in a canoe. This is one of my favorite parts because we have the rapids right over there. And this area, Balwating, it was a meeting place for not just thousands of years, but time immemorial. So this is a really beautiful place. It isn't just Sault Ste. Marie for hundreds of years. This is Balwating for time immemorial. There's so much beautiful history here. And this canoe, there's two figures in it. One holds a pipe, one holds a smudge bowl. And they have the medicine wheel on their canoe to remind us to carry our teachings. To carry our teachings as we make our journey. These are the rapids, by the way. There's rapids right there. It's really cool that you can see the two. We'll move on. Over here, we have the crane. The crane is very important in this area. And this crane, the clan, it's leading this canoe. It's showing us where to go. It's the leadership for our community. And I'm super happy Mark McCoy is here. Thank you for being here from Batchewana First Nation. That's amazing. We have the sacred fire right here, reminding us of the heart of our community and how important that fire is for all of us. Then we come to this section. We wanted to talk about healing as well. And so this is a lodge. This is a healing lodge. This is where we can all go to heal. So there's a family represented in the middle. And they're surrounding that young person and saying, hey, we're here for you. And we're here on your journey of healing. And they're surrounded by two other people. I was thinking of them as drums, but then someone said, oh, it's like they're holding a little piece of earth. And I was like, oh, that's great. So woodland style art also invites you to take your own meaning from it. Although I'm telling you this story, there's many, many teachings and meanings that you can learn yourselves as well. So they're in this lodge, and it goes down into the earth. So this is that heat and that love emanating into the earth. And these three stripes are that earth. And we have a strawberry plant on one side of the lodge, and we have a blueberry plant on the other side. We talked about how those are the medicines of our people, and they're hugging our lodge. They're hugging it, and those roots are going down into the earth. Now this part, okay, this was totally a youth idea. Sometimes I say, hey, maybe it would be cool if we had this, and they're like, oh, that would be cool. However, this was fully their idea. Some people have asked me, what are those yellow little stripes there? Okay, well, the youth wanted to talk about the bones of all the children that are being found. Someone put forth that idea, and it was emotional to hear that. Like, wow, sometimes you don't know what young people know and what they don't know, and for them to even say that, it was just astounding. So when I see these bones here underneath our lodge, it's a reminder that our ancestors are with us, and they're in the earth that we walk on as well. Then we have a layer right here of our shells, right, and fossils, a reminder again of our ancestors. And then lastly, we come up They wanted to talk about the elements, so we represented that in clouds and rain, that cleansing rain coming down over that lodge, again helping us to heal, helping Mother Earth to heal. And then I'll just finish with that eagle right there. So that eagle and that thunderbird, their arms are outstretched together. You know, the eagle represents, one of its teachings is love, right? And so those birds are up there, that thunderbird and that eagle are up there just reminding us, love, come from love, you know, and we'll surround you and we'll help you. So if you'd like to know more, you know, I'm always willing to talk about it. I'm very passionate about talking about these things. But thank you for listening and hearing this story. I really appreciate it. And again, thank you to the youth. It was incredible to have you work through, even when I told you to do boring things. You know, priming a wall is not the funnest activity, especially when I'm like, okay, that was one coat. We still have 3 more coats, right? Again, also when we were painting, right? Sometimes it looks like a mural can be close to completion, and then in my head as an artist, I'm like, okay, no, we still have many, many, many layers to go, right? But they were troopers, and they did all that with so much love and generosity and kindness. So Chimigwich to everybody that made this possible. Thank you to the Ontario Arts Council and the Art Gallery for the funding, and Miigwech for being here.
Miigwech, Lucia, thank you for your great remarks, and thank you for your hard work and for leading the youth throughout this project. I would also like to thank all the youth, the ones that are here and the ones that didn't make it today, but all the names of everybody who was involved with the project, they're all on the wall, so you can see who was participating. And we were really pleased to see that we had such a good turnout, and that project wouldn't be possible without the participation of the youth. So, and the importance of this was that we want to look into the future, and our future is our youth, and we want to educate them, we want to make them proud of their culture, of their ancestors, and also show them that they're part of mainstream art and culture scene in the Sioux. So thank you all. It is now my great pleasure to ask Honourable Patricia Bovey, recently retired senator from the Senate of Canada, to say a few words, and we are very honored to have Patricia Bovey here with us. Patricia Bovey, in addition to being a senator, spent her whole life, decades of working in the arts and being the leader of different art galleries, different art projects. And I would also like to invite you to come and hear her speak on Wednesday evening at the gallery. So it would be great if you can make it. So I would like to ask you to join me in welcoming our guest from Winnipeg, Honourable Patricia Bovey.
Thank you, Jasmina. Your Worship, Emily Romano, Chief McCoy, Jasmina, and Lucia, where did you get to? And all our young artists, and all the funders, and all those who assisted this project in any way, I want to say a very hearty congratulations. To have one of our major art galleries in this country work with youth, our leaders of tomorrow, to create, under the auspices and direction of artist Lucia Laford, I just want to say this is amazing. Congratulations, and I hope all you young people who participated in it, I hope you put a photograph of this mural on your bedroom wall and take it wherever you go, in your 20s, in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, because this is a really important milestone for you guys going forward, so congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen and children, it's wonderful seeing you all here on a day when we remember. We remember the realities of the residential schools across Canada and the ensuing crises. These realities have brought on generations of Indigenous peoples, those who attended the schools, those whose families lost children, and the loss of Indigenous cultures in every part of Canada. A project like this is a rebirth of those cultures, and I can't say how important it is. I am from Treaty 1, the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and the homeland of the Red River Métis. And here, where I am speaking, Sault Ste. Marie is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, specifically the Garden River, the Batchewana First Nations, and the Métis Nation of Ontario, within lands protected by the Robinson-Huron Treaty of 1850. I have traveled across this country, met with many residential school survivors over many years, indeed decades. I have heard many truths, some confidentially and some publicly, and I have participated in a number of apologies. I want to thank and recognize Ovid Mercredi and Phil Fontaine for the guidance they have given me for these past several decades. I thank the Indigenous Friendship Centre here, and again, particularly artist Lucia Laford, who has led our Indigenous youth in this mural painting. And I thank you all for your honesty and your clarity with your visual voices for showing the pathways to reconciliation. I was proud that the Commissioner for the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, the Honourable Murray Sinclair, who sat behind me in the Senate chamber, was the senator who walked me into that chamber when I was sworn in as senator from Manitoba. I'd known Murray for many years, and we flew back and forth across this country countless times. In the chamber, it was an honor for me to speak in support of and vote for UNDRIP, as it was for me to work on a number of programs in the chamber and throughout Canada, which I hope will help move us all towards reconciliation, as we heard, step by step, or to use my words that I've been criticized for making up new words, reconciliation by reconciliation. As Truth and Reconciliation Commissioner, Senator Sinclair so aptly said, it took generations to get into this mess. It will take generations to get us out of it. And I know today is a big step, a big reconciliation in moving out of it. This mural and the work of this gallery are certainly keystones in furthering the needed education to move us forward as a society. The 2020 public sculpture by Winnipeg Métis artist Val Vint at the Forks in Winnipeg, which some of you may have seen, is another artwork which underlines this theme. It is a steel sculpture made of the spines of books and films by Indigenous artists and allies of Indigenous artists. It is titled, Education is the New Bison. And these steel books together make that bison. 3 books are open to specific quotes. The first being by Louis Riel, and his comment, quote, "My people will sleep for 100 years, but when they awake, it will be the artists who bring them their spirit back." The second is Murray Sinclair's truth, quote, that education got us into this mess, and education will get us out of it. The third is by Haida artist Robert Davidson, who said, quote, "The only way tradition can be carried on is to keep inventing new things." Val Vint's bison is surrounded by her plantings of sage and native berries, which you see in this mural. It looks forward across the river to the grave of the artist's grandfather. Val herself said of this work, quote, "The thing I would like to say about education is a new bison. is what happens in his presence. People begin meaningful conversations around him. Conversation is critical in any healing work. And there you have conversation in this mural behind me. She went on. When people talk to each other, they usually see each other's eyes and are no longer the other. When there is no other, it changes how we see each other, how we think of each other. We soon discover that nobody is the other. We are all the same, and we are all related. End point. So on this Orange Shirt Day, let's walk forward together as we celebrate this mural, Indigenous youth, and a constructive future. Let us keep our eye on the reconciliations we all need to make in order to achieve the true healing and meaningful reconciliation for all peoples. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Bovey. And I would also like to acknowledge one more person, and that person is, I consider her our elder in residence, and that person is Judy Surratt. Judy Surratt has been with this gallery and working tirelessly to move the gallery in right directions for over a decade. And she was not just a board member, which she was for a long time. She was also the elder, the wise elder that was connecting us with all segments of our community and leading us how to find a way how we can reach out to different segments of the population, and how can we produce art projects that are meaningful for Indigenous community and everybody else. So with her guidance and wisdom, we are very, very grateful that we were able to continue working with Judy. And I know that she doesn't want to say again anything, but I cannot pass this opportunity to thank her for everything she has done and that she's still doing for this organization and for the community at large. So thank you very much, Judy. And the last piece is that we do have some shirts available in the box on the table, so they're free. So if you need or want a shirt, please go. And the shirts come from the Indigenous Friendship Centre and from the Art Gallery combined. So if you need or want a shirt, please feel free to take one. As someone mentioned, there are more and more people wearing them, and I think we should all wear them. So please take the opportunity to get a shirt. Also, I would like to, in closing, invite the youth that participated in the project to find their name on the envelope here. In the envelope is a membership card for youth for the Art Gallery of Algoma. So that membership and the whole package, what it includes, it is for 1 year, and it gives you unlimited access to all the exhibitions, sales, and reduced price for different workshops, different events. And we promise to continue to work with everybody in the community and produce great and meaningful projects, Indigenous projects, as we have done in the past and we will continue to do. So thank you all for coming today. Please help yourself. I would also like to encourage you to have a piece of this huge celebratory beautiful cake and help yourselves with other refreshments, and please hang out. In addition, if you are interested in continuing some of this conversation, Senator Bovey will be inside the gallery. We will have a circle of chairs and a conversation about today and how do we move forward. So I encourage you to go also inside and be part of that if you wish. So thank you all, and congratulations to the artists, to Lucia, and thank you to all who performed and who spoke today. It was, I think, a very meaningful and optimistic event.